So here's where we're at. You know, we either decide to do individually what the right thing is, whether it's easy or not. We have to, you know, be bold, and people will come to your aid. But other than individuals deciding that they're going to be the change that they expect to see, you know, until people can honestly look inside themselves and realize, as cliche as all of these things sound, that change comes from within, and that if you change yourself, you can change the world, right? So, you know, I plead, I'm begging. The aluminum is mined from somewhere. Stop mining the aluminum. The barium comes from somewhere. Stop mining. You know, the fuel, the aluminum is processed somewhere. Stop processing it. Reminded of, you know, a quote that a lot of people are familiar with. You know, at some point you've got to decide that the machine can no longer function, that you can no longer help the machine function, that you actually have to throw yourself on the gears and the lever of the machinery and tell the people who own the machinery that unless this stops, the machine will not function, that you will not help anymore be a part of your own demise. And other than that, you know, I don't even know what to say. You know, we tend to, you know, blame big corporations, blame, you know, Walmart kills small town USA main streets, and yet when I drive by every Walmart, the parking lots are packed. You know, you can be angry at Walmart for being cutthroat and for undercutting mom and pop stores, but it's still your choice. You decide that saving a few dollars is worth it, that it's more important than, you know, keeping our main streets going, keeping the mom and pops in business. And I could just say it over and over and over. The corporations pollute the environment, and yet we continue to buy their products. So at the end of the day, again, for the 1000th time, it comes down to us. It comes down to the individual, right? You have to change yourself before you can expect others to change. So many cliches and sayings, and you know, lead and others will follow. Set the example. Do the right thing because it's the right thing. More often than not, doing the right thing is harder than doing the wrong thing. And you know, that's just that's the sad truth, but it is. And so corporations can be evil. We buy their products. We allow them to be evil. Government can ignore our needs. We allow them to ignore our needs. We've got to stop looking outside of ourselves for the solutions to the problems that only we can solve. We're the only people who can stop this. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. The cavalry's not coming. There's nobody going to save us. Nobody's looking out for us. What is it going to take? What is it going to take for you individually, for you to decide that your children, if you don't have children, you know, your siblings, if you don't have siblings, everyone's got a mother, everyone has a father, you know, your neighbors, your associates, your co-workers. What is it going to take for you to decide that you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone to help save people who you may not even know, people you may not care about? You know, those are the things that have to be done. And all of this infighting and the ego, you know, crap, it's just, it's so part of the plan that, you know, I read, you know, Edward Bernays and Manufacturing of Consent, and it's amazing. It's amazing how simple the typical human being is to manipulate and to coerce into doing what you want them to do, right? You know, it's small steps and increments. Well, I hate to tell you this, but what's going to destroy this system, what's going to destroy the beast that's doing this to us, it's not going to be baby steps. It can't be done in baby steps. It all has to be done with one voice. Why, you know, different special interest groups can't get together, can't let go. You know, I'm emboldened by the thought. I believe in the collective consciousness of humanity, right? And I'm emboldened by the thought that, yeah, it looks pretty bleak, it looks pretty grim right now, but who knows what could happen when collectively 7+ billion people are all thinking of the same thing, how to solve the problems. Because, you know, as I've said before, if we stop geoengineering tomorrow, we've got huge problems, huge swing-back effects, and life as we know it will never be the same. That doesn't mean it doesn't need to be done. And so, you know, the problems are immense, and you realize that, you know, this isn't, we're not going to have a happy ending. You know, we've been lied to. We've been lied to by our movies. We've been lied to by Hollywood. We've been lied to by the media. Nobody's coming in to save us. There is no happy ending here. But the fact of the matter is, unless we want it to be the end, this has to be done. It has to be done. We have to find the strength inside of us. We have to, I just sound like a broken record, we have to find the courage within ourselves to stand up against the entire world, to be the man in Tiananmen Square with his grocery bags, standing in front of a tank, a row of tanks, and say, no, no, this system will not function. I decide that I'm not going to do it anymore, that I am not going to help the system destroy everything I love, and do that in any way that seems right to you. And the little changes add up, and the more and more people that you know, come online and start thinking this way, the better chance we have of surviving what's in front of us. But I just, you know, I can't imagine that our personal, you know, petty wants and needs, you know, outweigh our logic and our, you know, looking with open eyes at the environment and the things that are happening around us and not act. I don't know, I hope, you know, I hope for humanity's sake that at some point, you know, the curtain falls and we see the man behind the curtain, and collectively, but individually, you know, first decide that, you know what, I don't know about anyone else, but for myself, I can't do this anymore. I can't help the system kill me. Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what the system's doing. It's a slow kill, it's a soft kill. At this point, it's not always going to remain that way. And I would say, if you take a look around, it's not going to remain that way for really any length of time, you know, that matters. We don't have months and years. We don't have months and years. We have to do this now. I'm trying my best to be what I'm saying, and I know that I fall pathetically short of my ideal and what it is that I would like to be doing. And for that, you know, I think that keeps me awake more than knowing about geoengineering, is that as hard as I try, it's not enough. It's not enough. I have to do more. I should be able to do more. Sitting, you know, in front of a camera talking to people is not a hard thing to do. Hitting the streets, you know, just tonight, it's like 4 degrees outside, bitter cold wind chills, you know, and a man and his family are stranded and broke down on the road. You know, I have my son with me, and I have to show him that the best, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a religious person, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in the Bible, but I often quote things from the Bible because they're the right things, right? So, I'm reminded of the quote that which you do unto the least of my creatures, you do unto me. I'm spiritual. I believe in a creator and a God. I don't understand that, but I believe that the best thing that we can do for each other is to be good to each other, to step out of our comfort zone, right? To do things that that maybe we haven't seen by example, but to set the example. And so that's what we're left with. The only thing at the end of the day that you can change is yourself. And if we don't start to realize that, we're done, we're cooked, it's over. And maybe that's what we deserve. I find it hard to believe that that's what we deserve. I don't buy that. I don't believe that. I think that we deserve much better. I think that we've been fed this lie that this is what we deserve, right? I think that it's absolutely been part of the program from day one. And I put day one back 5,000-6,000 years ago. Yeah, I really do. I believe that we have been controlled as a species by very few number of people, all the way back to the last flood, right? The last, global climactic event. And those people have done really well, and that's kind of the problem we're in right now, is that all the tools they've used to control humanity from that point till now, they're not working anymore. And as people say, that's what makes them dangerous. You back them into a corner, and that's what makes them dangerous. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's dangerous. Getting out of bed and going to work and running your life is dangerous, right? There's no guarantees for any of us. There's no promise that if we do the right thing that we're going to have good lives. There's no promise of that. We know too many people who make the right decisions and yet don't become successful. But that's in our opinion, right? I bet to those people, and myself, I'll speak for myself, I'm not where I want to be in life, but I don't consider myself a failure, because every day I wake up and think, what can I do to be a better man for my family? What can I do to be a better person for society? Those are the things that matter when it all is said and done and over with. Another quote is, people will remember very little of what you say. Pardon me. People will remember nothing of what you say. They'll remember very little of what you do, but they'll remember every detail of how you made them feel, of the way you affected them, the influence you had over them. They'll never forget that. I know, I can speak from my own life. There's people who I can't tell you what it was they said to me. I can't tell you what it was they did that made me feel so good. But I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that person made me feel worth something. It was my grandfather. And we all have somebody that we can point to say, they weren't perfect, they made mistakes, but my God, they made me feel special. They made me feel worthwhile. They made me feel good about me. And we need to do that more for ourselves. To the betterment of all of us. And so one step at a time, one person at a time, day by day, just for today, I decide that I'm going to make a difference. Just for today, I decide that I'm no longer going to be complacent. Just for today, I decide that my part in the beast system, the machinery that controls humanity, I'm not gonna take part anymore. And so that's my plea to everyone. There are thousands of people involved in a program of this size, and so I plead on an individual basis for you to find the courage to be the person you were meant to be the person that's difficult to be, right? To stand upright and to walk righteous, to be honorable, to gain your courage back and your strength, and to truly ask every day, is there more that you can do to be better? You know, the best thing you can be, in my opinion, I tell my son, I teach him this and he can regurgitate it for you, but the best thing in life you can be is smart. And the second best thing in life you can be is helpful to others. And if you're smart, you'll know who to help. You'll know who needs help and who needs to do it on their own. But you have to think first. You have to use your brain first. You've got to engage the logic and the reasoning that we all have. I don't care what your IQ is. I don't care what your station in life is. We all have the ability to look at things and say, that's not right, and I'm going to do something about it. Not, that's not right and somebody should do something about it. That's not right. I'm going to do something about it. That's what we've got to have. And you know, the list of things that I wanted to say, and you know, what about the children? You hear that on, you know, in every instance of you know, every rally cry of every special interest group out there is, somebody think about the children. What about the children? Folks, I mean, I don't know what to say. What about the children? Are you kidding me? What are we doing? What are we doing to each other? What's it going to take? I don't know. You know, my heart says there's hope, that there's a chance. You know, my head says we're screwed. We're screwed because people are just too set in their ways to do the uncomfortable things, the right things, because they're the right thing to do. Not because they're easy, but because it's the right thing to do. And so I plead with everyone involved, please. You don't know what difference you can make. You know, the one guy that says, I'm not loading this cart. I'm not fueling this plane. I'm not flying this route. You know, I'm not paying this tax. I'm not going along anymore. You don't know. You have no idea what that could mean. And the fear of not knowing could be stopping you and holding you back. And I plead and I beg to don't let it stop you. Don't let it hold you back. You know, never doubt the power of a few individuals to change the world, because it's the only thing that ever has. And so, as I said, you know, I plead to find the strength inside yourself to help in some way stop this, to give humanity a chance. And that's about it. That's about all I can say. So, I'm Dennis H., and I'm wide awake.